Greetings and welcome, everyone. It's All You Can Geek bonus round, Spoilercast for Captain Marvel. I'm one of your hosts, Jim Gast, joined by Corey Feinstein.
The goose is loose.
And Tony Kurkanakis.
You're further faster, baby.
Welcome, guys. Welcome, listeners. Welcome, viewers, to the Spoilercast for Captain Marvel, the latest movie that came out in the Marvel Universe. Again, this is going to be a heavily spoiler-laden conversations we're about to have. If you want to hear our just general impressions, make sure you check out our movie cast. It's in the beginning of our movie cast there. And check out our game casts. Otherwise, I probably would not listen to this unless you don't care about the movie. So yeah, that's your last warning, because we're just going to get into this thing and talk about it. So that's it. Here we go. Okay, guys. Now,
first, let's just, that opening with Stanley was the best.
Dude, that got me so hard. Like I was not expecting that. Like, and then when it started, I was like, oh, they wanted to give him a cool nod, but then it was just him.
Just
I was like,
this is just the title sequence with the Marvel logo, guys.
Yeah.
It's not like it's in the or anything. It's
I know. When that happened, I knew that there was a tribute to Stan Lee in the beginning of this movie, but I was like, I had no idea that was it. So I'm like, I saw the Marvel logo, and I'm like, oh, that's Stan.
No, and it's cool because when that happened, like everybody just started clapping and cheering for him there.
Mine was a quiet theater. I almost just clapped anyways. I was like, you know what, maybe I'd be that guy.
Yeah,
but
somebody's got to start, Jim.
I know.
Yeah,
but then I could be able to.
You got to get a slow clap. You got to go.
Yeah,
you got to do a slow clap.
Yeah,
you just go bust out like that. People are just gonna be like, nah, too enthusiastic.
So yeah, I think I was shocked to see that, but yeah, it was great. I hope they put that on all the movies for the next few years.
They will.
Yeah,
I mean, it's no way.
So
especially
at least for this year, this year.
At least this year. I would say for the next phase, just put on the next phase. How with it? Let it go for a few years. So yeah, so that was a great beginning, and then we got into the movie, obviously, yeah, so. I have to say that, again, overall, I enjoyed this movie quite a bit. I'm going to give a major gripe I have with this movie, which started from the beginning of the movie until never got answered, to the point where I was like, I can't stop. And I probably shouldn't have thought about it so much, but I couldn't get past it. Okay, so I understand. First of all, I knew that was a twist for the plot, why she was not blue. I know why she was not blue. Why was Jude Law's character not blue?
Well, not all Kree are blue.
Yeah.
What? Where have they not been blue?
Well, the other dude is black.
Well, yes. So that was my other, but I don't think he's Kree, because he's also he's the one that shows up against Star-Lord in the Nova Squad. He's like a hero for a gun for hire there.
Well,
I don't think he's
Ronin,
Kree.
Obviously.
Yes, I don't think he's Kree. I think he's just part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was the thing. There was tons of blue guys. I just saw that in the beginning of this movie.
No, I can't argue with you, since all the Kree and the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. are blue. So.
Yes, and everybody Kree in this movie that we know are Kree 100%, like Kree, are blue. The rest of his squad, except for that guy. But even then, I'm like, why is he not blue either? Because I did ask her that. I'm like, that just bothered me, and I knew why she wasn't. I'm like, okay, well, she's probably gonna be human. I get this point. Like, I don't know anything about her character, but I just figured she's gonna be human. I got that. Like, and I'm like, okay, maybe he was human, and the same thing kind of happened to him when he was younger, and that was the whole thing. And then, nope.
And that Benning wasn't blue either.
She was an AI. Wasn't she the AI?
No, she was the doctor.
Marvel.
Yes. Well, yes.
Well, she was the form she took as, her idol.
Okay, but so then that caused me to create my own story in my head in this movie, that if she was not blue, you're right. Then she went onto Earth to stay undercover and went as a human in disguise. So maybe he did that, but why would he do that except for maybe to go to hunt her? But then why would he not go back to being blue when he was back at home?
Maybe
I don't know, dude. I think we're spending way too much time on this. I just looked up images on Google Image Search, and he's not blue in the comics either. So I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know anything. I wish they would just tell me. Just
You're right.
Give me.
Yeah.
No, I don't think they're all blue, but I understand your gripe, because if you don't know enough about the characters, all you've seen are blue Krees, then
even this is your first Kree experience, really, except for Guardians of the Galaxy in this whole universe. They're all blue. Let's keep the TV out of it.
I think it was
so. Anyways,
is Jan Rog not blue?
Yes, I don't need to like.
No, I'm spend
a lot of time on it. I just
Google imaged it off of Quora. Number one answer: not all Kree are blue. In fact, most of them now have a more white/pink skin tone. In the original, blue skin Kree are a minority, albeit a powerful one. In the comics too, Yon-Rogg has white skin, so they're just being faithful to that.
But they never showed us any other Kree that were like that.
I don't know, man.
That was my problem.
Mm-hmm.
That bothered me.
I can understand.
That just bothered me. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe we'll get the explanation as the movie goes on. And I'm like watching. I'm like, okay, I know why she's now. I get it. That makes sense in my head. I knew that to begin with. Never got anything for him. So okay, but anyway, so this movie kicked off with they did the whole like flashback origins.
So like the flashback thing, I kind of wish they started like in the flashback
I wish they had just
sequence.
kind of gotten that done.
And I didn't like it spread out during the whole movie.
Yeah, I think they should have just gotten it done.
The flashback where it's like you're not really sure what's going on here, but then have it at the end to kind of explain, and she remembers everything, and you remember everything with her. Instead, we're kind of getting pieces throughout the movie. I wasn't a big fan of that.
Yeah,
and to be fair, in the prior podcast we talked about, I think I sounded a lot more down on this movie, but I'm not like really that down on the movie. I think it's a perfect.
Well, we all gave it. I mean, we're all around the same score, 7.5. Tony might give it an 8.
There's definitely some great moments, which as we go through, I want to point out that. But I just think that the flashback stuff was. I think they did a great job with it in the trailer. Some of the trailers are really good with that whole falling down, standing up stuff. I just think they needed to do that more, in the beginning and then at the end. I felt like it was weird as spread out so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I want to get. Hang on, I'm getting this open here so we can do this. Okay. So yeah, I think
wasn't really.
See, I want to say like when we were on the Kree homeworld, like I love that sequence so much where it's just like showing a little bit of the world. And I'm like, give me this. Like that is what I want in the next phase of Marvel. Like
it felt very
space shit. I want to see more of
it. It felt very Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, no, that's great.
That's
but
great.
I want more. I want more.
But the problem also is it wasn't as good as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, no. But I mean, that's really hard. I think.
But you're also dealing with this beginning where it was actually pretty serious, and they tried to make it fun in the beginning, and it just I thought that they're like fake.
Her character is very up and down, also a little bit. She's like very snarky, but then also very like gloomy and
broody. Yeah.
It was kind of like she didn't know who she was for a while, but we didn't.
I think that's the theme of the movie.
Yes,
it's weird. Some places where it's like I think it could have been more consistent, where she's more broody because she doesn't know, and then she starts becoming more herself and being snarky. I think it's weird. It's all over the place. Again, all over the place. It's just really the pacing, and I think it's really the direction of the movie. I don't think
it may have been that. I think Jan-Rog, what is that? You say his name?
Yeah.
I think his character was part of the issue of the movie. Like that was the big problem.
Didn't see him being the bad guy. I mean, like that's my problem. Like,
here's my thing. I did say that
he was like, "Wait for me," like blah blah. I was like, "Oh, bad guy." Like,
yeah, no, okay. But okay. Why also did he cancel Ronin then?
Well, because he still wanted to find the light engine or whatever and he was scared that if Ronin showed up and
it would destroy
the planet, it would have been destroyed.
Okay, now it didn't make sense to me there. I'm like, why did he cancel that?
He's just very power hungry and all that. But the thing with him, like, and this is where I was saying the Disney formula here is like, how many movies have you had where you have the friend or like person like close to the hero, and then they turn out to be the evil villain at the end? It's like we've seen that so many times.
That's real life, man.
Yeah.
Keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
Yeah. The thing is, the only thing I did not see happening is I actually, when I watched this, I expected both to be villains and the humans to kind of be thrown in the middle of it.
I didn't expect the Skrulls to be.
Well, the biggest twist here, I saw this on the internet too, is that the guy that played the main Skrull is like he always plays a villain. So it's like, wait a second.
Yeah, who played that guy? Because I was like, the second he started talking, I'm like, I know this guy.
The guy from Rogue One. It's the guy from Batman, Dark Knight Rises. It's the same guy. Like he always plays the villain.
Mendelsohn, right?
Yeah, he was in the guy Player One.
That's the guy I recommended to play Magneto.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I was like, wait, he's not a villain. This is amazing.
That's true. But I would say like their first sequence, like because after we get past the training fight sequence, they had the whole rescue mission. We do get more. We get to see the Skrulls for the first time. I love their introduction. I thought it was really awesome. And then I also thought that him with a personality the way he had, I'm like, it's weird, but it worked in the beginning. I liked it. I was like, this is cool. It's different. It's British, but it worked. I thought it was actually fun that way, and a fun. You know what I mean? Like it was actually off. It wasn't like quite with the whole they're going through her memories and brainwash, trying to find out where the hell the energy is. And actually we know what he was doing later, but finding the ship, but they're like, and he's kind of doing a lot of humor.
So I didn't get it at this point was like, they blocked her memory, so she doesn't remember anything past the point when she wakes up on.
Well, I think she had. I think that I don't know if the Kree blocked her memory. I think it was more because I don't think she remembered even at the end of the movie. I think she just has amnesia from the explosion. I think the Tesseract took that from her.
No, but then how do they see it? Then how do the Skrulls see it?
It's got to be repressed. I think it's got to be repressed memory. It's got to be repressed memory.
I think the power, the Kree whatever mastermind or whatever the fuck it's called.
That button.
The thing. I think it was controlling her memories and stuff like that. Because as soon as that was destroyed, then she was like, oh, like she seemed to know everything, and it's like, all right, cool, like we're back to status quo, I guess.
Yeah, it was also ultra powerful. I thought that was awesome, but we'll get to that. So we had them.
This is where my favorite sequence in the movie was actually
the blockbuster, or the exit off the ship.
Well, the fight sequence when she breaks out of the mind. Like,
oh yeah, that was a cool sequence.
Yeah, that was my favorite sequence in the movie. Is that she's got the things on her arms and she can't use her powers, and she's got. I think that was the best fight sequence.
There's a lot of good fights. That was a good fight sequence. Actual fighting.
And I liked her personality in this because she's like, "Do you guys have to get these off?" And it's like, "No, okay." And it's like the part that really like made my whole theater, and I'm sure it was for you too. But like when the one Skrull was like, "Bleh," and she goes, "Bleh." I was like, I was not expecting that, so I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, okay, like that's funny.
Yeah, I thought that was really great. Then they crash land. She crash lands on Earth, and we get into a blockbuster video.
Now, hold on. One thing that maybe I didn't catch this detail, but the thing that bothered me was in the beginning, the whole mystery was like how the Skrull guy, the leader Skrull, how he had that code, like the verification code.
Oh, because they can see the memories. That's what they're doing.
Was that it?
They stole it out of their head.
He went right into the memories and saw them say it to him.
Okay, all right.
That's what I got from there. I mean, that's what I got.
That makes sense. I don't remember them saying directly in the movie. He was like, It
would have been cool for confirmation of that because again, that's in our. We've made that up.
You confirm it though.
Oh, they do.
She says it herself. She's like, they steal them. They see the memories. Like they stole the memories right out of my head or something.
Okay.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, as we learned that the Skrulls have a great mimicking thing, but they can't go back in memories, only recent memories, which is weird. So that machine's new for them. So we have the crash center Earth. We have the fun part of the blockbuster, where we get to see True Lies.
I love that. They're like True Lies. Like,
borrowed that from their newly acquired studio, Fox. And then we get the first appearance of Nick Fury and Phil Coulson right off the bat when she uses the phone, the communicator. So we get to see the de-aging effects that they've done. And Sam Jackson looks fantastic. I was like, well, yeah, that looks just like he did when he was younger. But you're right, Corey. There was the movement thing where you're like, okay, he definitely kind of...
He's a little spry.
Yeah, he's not the... He looks the age. He just doesn't move the age. So.
Yeah, there was... Coulson, I mean, he looked good, too. I just... think they put a toupee on him, but essentially,
then the stairs sequence was a little off. But
was it the stairs? I thought it was right when he was walking out of the blockbuster as he called. He's like, "I'm still in the blockbuster. Are you here?" And they showed him walking. That for me, I was like, "Oh, that looks not so good."
No, I mean that was okay, but like the stair sequence was when he lets them go. I thought that was
So it's not 100%.
You see Samuel Jackson, and you're like, Jesus, this is ridiculous. And then you see like. They didn't do as quite a good job with Coulson.
I mean, I can't imagine they spent that much money on Coulson.
I mean,
I wish he was in it a little more too.
It was weird that they brought him into this because he had a very minor spot.
Like, it's weird that they would bring him back into that. It's weird that they don't have plans to use him again.
Nope, not at all.
Definitely weird. Do
you think he comes back in Endgame? What do you guys think?
I have to. I have to. Even though it's looking less and less likely, I have to believe it.
Yeah, I know you do. All of you have to believe it. So, yeah, I like that whole. I did like the whole
Tony, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So if they were already part of Shield at this point, but they were shocked to see aliens. Like they didn't believe her at first, obviously, that there were aliens. So they hadn't seen them yet, I guess. They just happened to make this club before they even really knew aliens existed, which is weird.
Well, SHIELD existed before they did. SHIELD was developed by Agent Carter.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I'm sorry.
How do you guys we've seen as an Ant-Man?
Yeah. That helps massively. I completely forgot about
World War
II
thing, man.
I know, but I'm like in the movie. I'm like they don't know about aliens at this point, really, and they're SHIELD. So that's what I was kind of shocked about. But so we had the chase sequence on the train. That sequence was okay.
We had a cameo.
Oh, we have the cameo, which was awesome. I liked how she was like questioning every single person. You can see her look, and then she just gives him that smile.
You know he's reading, right? With
Mallrats.
Yeah,
Mallrats.
He was reading the script from Mallrats. It was 1995. I'm like, this is perfect.
And apparently, Kevin Smith didn't know that he was doing that in this skit. Like, he was actually legitimately surprised when he's on the movie. Like,
was he?
Yeah.
Oh,
he got emotional about it. He's like, oh man,
Yeah. So he was reading Mallrats' script, and even like, I mean,
because that was actually his first guest appearance. Was Mallrats.
He was reciting the line. He was reciting the line, one of the lines in the movies. And then she gives him that look where he's just like, and it's like you're good. Everybody else here could be a suspect.
Yep.
So that was great. But yeah, so we had the whole sequence there. And what else? What happened in that sequence? I'm trying to think.
Yeah, and I think part of not to say I didn't like that sequence, but like just because I know like her power set vaguely and stuff like that, like the first, again 2/3, I'm just like come on, like I want to see you level up here. I want to see you at your evolved state.
Well, at the same time, you knew like.
Yeah, I know.
Sony, I was like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's a power inhibitor. Because like, knowing the comic, it's like she's the most powerful human like superhero, and like. She's not showing it or anything. I was like,
I thought it was cool that how she got her powers at the end. I saw that. I had no idea.
Comic,
I'm sure it is, but I thought it was cool, the inclusion of that. But we'll get to that.
Lucky thing. I heard like a really like trolly review about the guys like. So the thing that makes her so cool is that she just so happens to be standing by an engine that blows up. And it's like, yeah, I guess. I mean, how like so people get powers for no reason.
You get bit by a radioactive spider.
It fit with like a radioactive spider. Yeah, that same origin.
Your rich ass billionaire parents decided to go down an alley called Crime Alley alone. Like, this shit doesn't make sense. It's fucking comic books. Like, come on.
Yeah. So after that, we get the whole security. We have the whole. They go to like the collaborative NASA SHIELD thing, right? Base. Is that where they head?
Now here's one. No. So there was one sequence where I thought you were going to play at this gym because like even I was like, wait, what? So at that certain point where she's reading the newspaper to try to figure out where to go to find the doctor, and the guy like says something to her like nice wetsuit, and then she steals his bike. Okay.
Yeah.
So now Samuel Jackson's trying to find her, but then somehow he arrives at the bar before her.
Yeah. How do you get ahead of her? That's what I was. The only thing I chalked it up to is it's SHIELD. Maybe they actually know what they're talking about.
Maybe. It was just, I was like...
Also, when was the last time she rode a motorcycle? I mean, maybe she took a little while to get used to the thing.
Well, the only thing I thought was weird was that he arrived there before her. Like, I know he got a lead about somebody stealing a bike, and he knew that was her, but I'm like...
How did you track it and all that? But again, it's a movie, like whatever. I can forget it.
I get like meeting her there. That would have been fine. Yeah. But yes, so I thought that was.
I love the Street Fighter 2.
That sequence. There's so much nostalgia built into this movie for like '90s fans. Yep. It was great to see that.
Or here you go into the Radio Shack, and then part of like a Game Boy was used to like create that thing to communicate to the rest of the crew.
Yes. Yeah. So we get the. She gets her memories a little bit right before this, or no? As she gets this is at the.
Well, she sees the bar. She has glimpses of stuff.
Yeah,
like playing the game and singing karaoke and.
And I liked how when they're locked in the room in the NASA station or whatever, and like, Nick Fury just goes over with the tape and like, does that. And the next sequence, he's like, how are we getting in here? And she just goes, pfft. He's like, you watched me use this, tape. Well, you could have done that the whole time.
Yeah. I thought he was great with that. He's like, you should see what I do with a paperclip, and then she just shoots the door afterwards. So I thought that was a good sequence too. I like that. I like the archives, we'll call them.
I think they had good chemistry.
I thought it was a good.
I think it was decent, like buddy cop.
Yeah, buddy cop.
But at the same time, like I saw it done better in Thor Ragnarok, and it's like I can't help it. Just like. I like that they're doing this, but like it wasn't as good.
No, I agree. But the trope with Nick Fury, because like up until now, it's like he's just like a hard ball, like spot, like the spy.
Like a lot of him, because like every time he comes up, it's just like he's in and out.
As that sequence occurs, we get our appearance of probably the one that steals the movie.
Yeah,
Goose.
Goose. So we get Goose in this, which I thought was a fun name for the cat, considering it's an Air Force kind of cat, and they called him Goose. What was it? What was it called?
Flugel? Something. I forget what they call it.
Flagon,
a Flargan? A Flargan.
Yeah.
A Florkin.
Florkin.
It's a Florkin. But we'll get to that in a second. But you see get the cat, and I just like Samuel L. Jackson's character with the cat the whole time. Like immediate like cat love person.
I have to say I really hate the way he gets his eye patch though.
I love that. No, I will get to. Stupid. I get to the point where I will get to why I love that, and that's why, Corey. That is.
But it's not like
it is the perfect thing to never tell people how you lost your eye, and that's why nobody knows this story.
The entire time, there's no reason for the cat to ever do that. Like, there's no reason for him to do that. I don't mind. I just didn't like the fact that he's so cuddly with Fury the whole time, and then
he suddenly scratches.
For no reason, I'm just gonna scratch you so that we can have this, as continuity for his eye.
Even then, it was like the whole time with his eye. Like, remember when he got into the car accident? They're like, "Oh man, your eye looks really bad." He's like, and I thought, okay, he's losing. His eye.
Yeah, they were playing it up the entire time. I'd like that, but like the way they actually.
Yeah. So we get a little showdown at the archives with the Kree, the Skrulls, and Carol and Nick Fury, who also he tells her that
call me Fury. They call me Fury,
and he doesn't. So yeah, we get that. That's why I completely forgot it was Ben Mendelsohn or whatever his name was. That was that was the director of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I love just like the face too. Like he's like, "Good job, Nicholas," and you see him go, like,
yeah, and even then he wasn't even sure. He had to check him one more time just to be like, "Are you serious? This is happening?"
I did like though that they brought that back too, where he's like, the pinch maneuver or whatever, and they brought that back later. In the movie. So that was cool.
So yeah, I thought that was cool. And so yeah, we had that sequence, and then we have them escaping that and going to her old friend,
Monica or something, Maria.
Oh, God, no, I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names.
Rambo.
So I have a last name. Her last name is Rambo. So it's Maria. It's Maria, actually. I'm sorry. So they arrive at her house, and that sequence felt weird for somebody who should be dead. I thought that there wasn't quite enough emotion there.
Really? I thought they had good chemistry, actually, like when they were talking in the kitchen.
I think
like the actress did a great job.
Really? I just didn't feel like they had a great reaction to her seeing her back alive again. I don't know.
Well, she kind of and her daughter always like she's not dead. And it was just
that's true.
Relief, as like we were right.
And it's one of those things where I think it's like the case of right, like, and that's one of those things where I think it's part of her probably believed like it's. I'm not gonna say it's as bad because never been in that situation. I hope I never do. But like it's one of the things where like if you have the body, at least like there's closure. When it's like this, like she's like this is all I ever had.
To, like, or something,
right? It's like. And like without ever knowing, like they swept that under the rug, the whole thing. It just seemed, super shady. It's like,
and even she says it in that sequence where it's like the hard part was like losing your friend, and then they just act like it never happened, like nothing never.
That's true.
Washed away, and so like I think definitely was more of a relief type of feeling.
Then we get into this the real plot twist of the movie, which I did not see them being good guys at all, the Skrulls. So. especially with the way that the movie's been going, they really painted them. And I was trying to think back to like, did they ever like brutally kill somebody like during it?
Kind of been evil, so.
Huh?
In the comics, they've always been bad guys too. Which
that's
on your expectations as well.
Well, that and like Secret Wars is all about them, right? Like infiltrating and like I thought I really thought that's where they were going.
And we can get into it later, but this is where I like. It's a Marvel movie, so there's a lot of setup. But like, not only for Endgame, but I'm curious to see how this, because I have a feeling that's going to be a storyline in the future with invasion, secret invasion, or whatever like that. Because
secret invasion, that's what.
Because the thing is, now you have an excuse to like really bring back any character you want. Not that I hope they do that, but like what if a character dies? Like, actually that was a Skrull copycat, and the real whoever is out fucking in a cryo tube or something like that. It's like, oh shit, like.
Yeah, and vice versa too. Like, you can just have people like who did die and then they come back as Skrulls, and
exactly. So it could come back.
It'd be interesting. We'll see if that comes in Endgame at all. And so we get that twist where they're actually the good guys. They play the black box for her, and
I love that when she's like, "What's going on?" And they're like, waiting, like it's loaded. Just the fucking windows.
The little touch. I love that part.
I love it. Just like,
Sonya pointed that out too. She's like, I love that scene.
Yeah, that was good. That was very good. Loading. So I thought that was great. And so they got to play the audio file, and then she had the immediate memory flashback to how it actually happened.
Well, the girl that plays Minerva was in Crazy Rich Asians. Is the
I didn't.
Yes,
I was like, she's so familiar, but then I watched an interview after. It's like, oh shit, no wonder.
So we find out that Goose is a Flurkin at that point. What else happened right there? Where am I skipping? Anything else right there? Not really.
The fight sequence with the No Doubt plane, which was.
No Doubt was playing.
Well, hold on. I mean, they got to this. They got to the hidden spaceship.
That's what I mean.
Spaceship.
That was after.
And they got the Tesseract.
Flurkin until like after that moment.
I thought the Flurkin was on their way up to the spaceship.
No, it's when they get captured by the Kree on the spaceship, and
the guy kept insisting that was a Flurkin. They're like, this is a cat.
No, the Skrull.
That's what I'm saying. The Skrull is like saying it's a Flurkin. They're like, yeah, bro, this is a cat. Like, that's a cat.
We don't know what the Flurkin is until after
until it started like.
But I'm saying, like, up to that point, he was saying that, but because they didn't trust him at that point all the way.
Oh yeah, obviously, why wouldn't?
Yeah.
So
I assumed that he just called it a Flurkin because that's what they call cats in outer space or whatever.
I love the two when they were like taking off, and Maria's like, "Is this how it feels to go to space?" And Carol's like, "Yeah," and then you can see the Skrull going.
Shaking the head part. Yeah, no. That's why I really like the Skrull's personality. I thought he did a great job with them. So we have them finding the ship that's cloaked after they remember where it was, and they find out. Then we get revealed of what the energy source was of the ship that she was trying to pilot for light speed.
Powers and that.
As being the Tesseract. I thought it was kind of cool. Like bring the Tesseract back full circle.
Yeah, it's really cool. The thing is, I wish they explained a little bit more about how the engine powered by the Tesseract gave her powers that immense. Just because like we look at Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, and it's like, and Scarlet Witch in particular is pretty powerful, but like how it's so wildly different. So it's like what. Yeah, I just want to know, and again, it's a comic book excuse, but at least acknowledge that. Well, or maybe they will. Maybe they will in Endgame. We'll see.
Yeah, that might be. So I just feel like I like the motivation. Actually, we find out from the Skrull from Talos is that he wants to get his family back, which is cool to see. Human side of things.
I was expecting a backstab.
Yes,
double
that's
cross.
what I was. Yes,
I was like, oh no, this Skrull, it's like everybody's bad. Like, all aliens are bad. Yeah,
that's what I thought. So we actually get a legitimate these are good guys, and I'm like, wow, Marvel's making the Skrulls good guys, and straight up. And I mean, Feige actually came out saying there's different factions; they could go anywhere they want with this. Not every Skrull is the same, is what he said.
Yeah. I think the takeaway from this was supposed to be that this particular group of Skrulls was more like refugees, where it's like, because the Kree were like, oh, the Skrulls need to be destroyed. And he's like, look, we just want to have a home. And
Yeah.
it's like, okay, like you don't want to be warmongers. That's fine.
Yeah.
Like
And then we have like the big fight sequence of the movie, essentially, the
With no
whole
doubt,
finale. Yeah, with no doubt. And I thought that was cool. We get to see her, use her powers a little bit more before she awakened them fully. But she awakened them fully afterwards, right?
Well, she got briefly captured and was.
Oh, that's right. Briefly
captured.
That's right.
And she's like, remember
as you are.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it was. So she awakened her like full potential as she realized that thing was inhibiting her, and then broke out of the AI.
Yeah, and as soon as that happened, like the rest of the movie, I'm just like, hell yeah, like this is what I came
for.
A
full powered Captain Marvel was impressive. Like I thought that after that, her powers are freaking incredible. It's just awesome to see. Even like surviving through space and just shooting her, propelling herself through space.
Catching that massive bomb that gets dropped by
blowing them all up afterwards. I'm like, this is like a Superman moment, and she's just she's rolling through.
It's a great moment. That's why they put it in the trailer. It's unfortunate because you've seen it already, but it's like
I didn't think it was really
satisfying when you see it. In the movie. I like she does a little Indiana Jones action with it.
What did you think of like the Ronin turning around and running away?
I mean, it made sense.
I understand it was going for like more of a comic part of it because the guy looked at it, his co-pilot was like, let's just get the hell out of here. And I'm like, it doesn't quite work for Ronin from what I understand as Ronin. He's very serious, and I'm just like, it was very goofy.
He was also much younger, and like he wasn't as like a disgraced Kree guy.
Yeah, that's true.
As well.
So, and then turn tail and run, and then you get her against Jan Rog, whatever his name is, and it is an unbalanced fight. But I did like that sequence when he crashes and he's like, "Finally, fight me with your bare hand." Yeah. Why?
Prove to me. She's like,
I don't have to.
I don't have to prove anything.
Yeah. I thought that was great. Because I thought, okay, here we go. And there's gonna have a big hand-to-hand fight sequence. And I'm like, nope, she pulled an Indiana Jones.
Yep.
So I thought that was great. That's clearly what they were going for, a little style for that.
Yeah.
Sent him back in disgraced. Does that, I'm clearly she's away fighting the Kree, I would assume, and that's where she's been. But we'll find out later.
I think she was just finding a home for the Skrulls.
So, I mean, what else part of the actual movie before the credits did you guys want to cover? Anything else there? I think that was pretty much.
I think they did a great job with her costume and stuff, and
I liked her costume once they repaleted color. I didn't like the color swap palette part where the girl was changing the colors for him. I'm like, whatever. Yeah, I think once they did that, though,
Tony Stark type of thing.
I know. I liked her.
Like, how does this girl even know how to do this? It's like,
I didn't like it.
I've never seen this technology before, but I know how to change the colors.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I didn't like it in the Kree colors though. I thought it looked terrible. But I like her new outfit. It looks good, and I like the whole last sequence. It was freaking epic. It was great, showing her powers like blowing up bombs, turning around an entire armada. And
sometimes you just want like a superhero to be like super powerful.
Yeah, you do.
Want to be an OP character, and just see that sometimes.
Because somebody's got to go up against Thanos soon, and like we got to see somebody that can do that. So I mean, Thor failed.
Yeah, so didn't go for the head.
Yep, didn't go for the head. So yeah, I think that was awesome. That last sequence, and
so I will say.
Go ahead.
Oh, I will say the last thing I did really enjoy her last one-on-one talk with Fury in the kitchen, where she's like, "Here, I gave you this," because earlier in the movie she's like, hand over your pager because you obviously can't be trusted or whatever.
That's right. Yeah.
And it came full circle. She's like, "Hey, I made some modifications to it." I was like,
"Only for
I know a lot of people are up in arms about that. Like, well, why hasn't he used this before? The Earth's been invaded by other aliens like crazy, and I mean they're retconning, so it can't all like.
Yeah,
I mean,
but not the first Avenger anymore. Apparently,
but that's true. And Feige actually said, like, how do you know he hasn't tried to use it before? Maybe she hasn't come back. Mm-hmm. We don't know. Maybe there's off screen. So I liked his response. It was fine. Yeah. It's fine.
I thought it was kind of silly to make the Avengers Initiative named after her. That was
I thought that was silly too.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't like that part.
It's like you want to try to tie these things in, and you do that. It's like
I thought that was a bit too much. I thought it was fine him changing the name to the Avengers, but I didn't like the inspiration for it. Yeah, the inspiration for it. Yeah. So, yeah, so I don't know. We had that last sequence with her leaving. The mid credits with her coming back right off the bat. I thought we had to wait all the way to the end of the credits.
No, the mid credits always the significant one, and the end is always a jokey one.
Well, the end was fine. It was the Flarkin.
Oh, well, I also really liked. I personally did like how like he did lose his eye to the Flarkin or Goose, and he's just there, and he's like, Coulson comes in, hands him that case of like fake eyes. He's like, so was it blah blah blah, and then
he melts your eye. Yeah.
Like, I will neither confirm nor deny that.
That's what I mean. That's why I thought it worked. But you're right, Corey. The motivation behind the cat getting him doesn't make sense. But
I agree. Like,
but I do.
If he kept like trying to scratch him at the movie and something, I'd be more okay with it.
That would have been fine too. You're right.
That like cuddly the whole time, and it's like
yeah.
And then it's like, okay, just scratch you out of nowhere for no particular reason after like not seeing that at all at any point.
Yeah,
but
I thought it was a pretty good joke when he's like going like, do your thing, but it was actually Talos in disguise, so he knew
he wasn't gonna hit him. Yeah, the cat was good with that. So he was a great character. The mid credits was great to see they got the Avengers in the movie, a nice cameo for them. The last remaining
I see that exact scene in the film too.
So. That's what I was gonna say. You could, at least I could tell, like the drastic difference in quality between like just how Captain Marvel was shot and then just that like 1 minute clip or 30-second clip or whatever. It just looked better, all around. Like
it's different directors too.
Right, exactly. I mean, the Russos are
the Russos. Yeah,
they're on top of their game right now. But it was not sequence was great. So
I thought that was really cool. But like, I didn't expect Captain Marvel to show up and be like, "Where's Fury?" Is like she just like totally caught them all off guard. Like,
I mean, she had to be there. If she wasn't there, I would have been like, this was a stupid end credit sequence. But with her showing up and looking a little haggard too, I was like, oh.
Well, she's been fighting clearly, so it'd be interesting to find out what she's been up to.
I don't know. It's just traveled light years and bound apparently.
So we'll see how she did that, but I'm sure we'll get more story in the movie for that. They probably cut that just right to not give us too much.
Well, I don't know why. Thing is, like, I don't know why she would be. I don't know. It's speculation. Whatever. I don't care. I thought she was just out traveling and looking for help.
Well, the snap had just happened, so when that happens, you got to wonder what the fuck happened because it's happened across.
So she's like, "What the fuck?" And then
I'm sure she went to. Yeah, I'm sure that's why she showed up.
Yeah, maybe half those Kree were just gone.
Yes. Yeah. So.
Half of everything was gone.
Half of everything's gone.
And I know that's what I'm saying. Like, I mean, it's like, oh.
It was non-discriminant. It was just boom.
Except unless you were an original Avenger.
Yes, then you were getting a free pass.
Plot armor.
All right. So overall, I enjoyed the movie quite a bit. I give it a 7.5 out of 10. I thought Wonder Woman from DC was a better movie because I thought that there was more
to the other woman in the.
I do.
Which is funny because it's like all the marketing is like how like this is the first, then like in like little italics or whatever, like
asterisk
stuff. First Marvel female like character.
Yeah.
But it's like been so many female-led characters like movies.
Sure.
It's just
this is the first Marvel female.
Yeah. But the thing is, like, I mean, look, I don't want to. I'm not the type that like. I don't think you have to shit on one thing to.
I'm not shitting on
another thing. No, I know. I just want to make sure that what I'm about to say is like I appreciate Wonder Woman. I recognize, but at the same time, I think she comes with a lot of baggage in terms of like pro feminism and stuff like that. Because I mean, she has her roots in like bondage and being subservient to mind control and all that stuff. So I think it's
the characters' origins are definitely a lot.
Yeah, they are
exactly. It's like so it's a little murky, but I mean not that takes away from that representation, but it's like Wonder Woman has always been around. She had the TV series. She's been in the animated movies and stuff like that. So it wasn't the biggest surprise to me. Ken Moore was like, this is like a new fresh face, where it's more related. Because I mean, Wonder Woman is like, oh, like either like I was made from clay, or like I was born from a god, and it's like this is nope.
Well, you haven't had different iterations really of Wonder Woman either. Right. Like she's always been who she is, whereas Captain Marvel's had the Captain Marvel and the different versions of Captain Marvel.
Right.
So.
Or it's like now we have like a definitive like, hey, this is going to be it going forward for probably most people now because this is their first exposure to it. Because the movies have way surpassed the comics in terms of reach and scope and stuff like that. So Carol Danvers, like I think and again, that's what I liked. It was her, even though like there were seconds in terms of clips, like her failing and her struggling, but never giving up. Like it mattered. I think it mattered to people. Whereas like
I got you. I got you. They didn't have that before. This made her. I mean, she's human.
Right, exactly. Whereas like Wonder Woman's like you're half god or
yes,
or god,
I guess I'm just saying the movie I enjoyed. I'm not saying character wise. I'm saying movie wise. I think I enjoyed Wonder Woman.
Yeah, the thing I really like gets me a little bit not annoyed or anything, but it's kind of like maybe a pet peeve and stuff. It's like, why do you have to turn something that you can just like you just want to have fun and watch a fun movie? Why do you have to turn it into a political message and like you have to like like Black Panther's this political message, which I think did a better job honestly of what it was doing, but as far as culture and showing what like that is, but as far as like in feminist and stuff here, it's like you have why can't you just let it be a fun movie? Like come on.
It's like I don't really think the movie actually had that much like pro-feminine, like,
no, and that's the thing is it's not, but they're turning it. That's what the narrative is like.
Right, you're right, and it didn't have a lot. It didn't have a lot of it in it at all. I thought it was
really. It was all the flashbacks. It was like my dad's oppressive, and he thinks I'm not good because I'm a girl, and then it's like, and the army thinks I'm bad because I'm a girl.
It's such a small part of the story.
Girl, it's like
to establish her drive as a character. Like that's all that was doing.
No, I understand. But that's my point. Is just like every time there's something that's not a white male in a leading role, you have to turn it into a political message.
I know, but I saw this one meme that was just so on point where you remember in Harry Potter the one year Dudley's like 37 presents, but last year I had 38, and it's like it was that scene, but it's edited to say there's only 37 white male heroes this year. Last year I had 38 or something like that. Like, I feel like it's exactly that.
Yeah, I feel that's really what's blown up from. And like I said, this movie is very good. To go, you should go see it. You probably have. If you're listening to this, you've seen it. So if you're on the fence and you want to hear what we thought of it and listen to the whole Spoilercast, then go see it. Whatever. That's weird to do it, but go ahead. Yeah, but you go see it. It's worth seeing if you haven't seen it. So. I'd give it a 7.5 as well, and maybe 8 if I'm being generous. But the thing is, like, it's an origin movie, and like Corey, you touched upon, like origin movies have become so cliche, and more so Marvel because they've done so many of them at this point. Mm-hmm. But I'm so interested in the sequel because that's where Marvel has not really failed in that regard, where it's like, hey, this is what you think this character is about, and then just completely, for the most part, like I think maybe Thor 2 is like the one that like sticks out the most, but like you look at
Guardians, I think were worse than the original, sure.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of like what you expected, because I know we talked about like where Guardians 2, I wasn't expecting that kind of like emotional like
with the
weight to it. It was like, oh, like shit, like that kind of thing.
I think usually they can do well with a sequel, and I think
obviously where they're going, it's going to be interesting to see where they go with the whole cosmic side of stuff.
Everything's going cosmic, so we'll see how it
exactly. And that's what I mentioned because now we got through the origin. She's fully powered, leading the charge, probably going to headline the Avengers for the next phase, or a few phases. And I'm excited to see what they want to do with the character, what they want to do with
Civil War 2. I mean, right?
Yeah, exactly. You can do Civil War 2. But in terms of like how they're going to challenge her, because one thing that I thought was interesting though, they did bring Ronan back because apparently in the comics he does come back, but he becomes more of a like heroic character and stuff like that. So I'm wondering maybe if they'll revisit that at post Endgame,
maybe
more a character, because I was like, like
this game is the reset for everything. So it's like
exactly, yeah.
Whatever we want to do for Phase 4, we're gonna set it up here and then game and my overall is I thought it was a good movie. They did a decent job. Obviously, I do feel the direction was the weakest thing.
Maybe that was the weakest part. Maybe that's we're critiquing.
I don't think there's that experience to the direct. Whoever they got to.
There was 2 people that directed it. And I think that's because they were both they were inexperienced.
Yeah. And then that's what they do, though. They get these, up and coming directors to make these movies, and sometimes you hit gold, and sometimes you see that they weren't capable of it. And it's not that they weren't capable; they made a fairly good movie.
Oh yeah, it's not terrible at all. It's a good movie.
Marvel has set the bar very high.
Yes. So all right, I think that's going to wrap up the Spoilercast. Thanks for tuning in. Let us know what you think. Write us podcast@geek.net. Follow us on Twitter, Like Geek. Like us on Facebook. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube if you're watching us. Tune into more Spoilercast coming up. You know Endgame. You know we're going to have Endgame. Tune into our regular Gamecast, Moviecast. Moviecast is going to have some interesting Endgame topics coming up soon. So check that out. And we'll see you guys soon. Thanks.
Later.